You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Hello, this is Matt from the Explorers Podcast. I want to invite you to join me on the voyages and journeys of the most famous explorers in the history of the world. These are the thrilling and captivating stories of Magellan, Shackleton, Lewis and Clark, and so many other famous and not so famous adventurers from throughout history. Go to explorerspodcast.com or just look us up on your podcast app. That's the Explorers Podcast.
Hi, this is Katie.
And this is Nathan.
And you're listening to Queen's Podcast, the show about women in history. Hey, Nathan.
Hey, Katie. I've got a big old smile on my face.
Because we got company, y'all.
Oh, we got company.
Now, if y'all are new to the show, y'all might not remember last year we had our friends Tess and Claire from the really cool podcast Right Answers Mostly on. And guess who we have back again?
Hello.
Hi, guys.
We're back.
Did you miss us?
Yes.
Nathan, did you have so much fun recording that episode with them last year on Frida Kahlo?
Oh, it was a blast. It didn't even feel like I was recording anything. It just felt like I was kikiing with the friends.
Well, that's always our goal. And we were just talking about before we started recording, we had Katie on and she covered Cleopatra. And that's truly one of my favorite episodes that we've done.
Same.
So we thought we'd have him back on because we got chemistry.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, ladies.
Oh, thank you so much.
Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. Here, Nathan, do we usually do women that are still alive?
No, because we're afraid of lawsuits, so we wait till they're dead.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you're smarter than we are.
Yeah, I've actually never even considered that.
That's why we say allegedly a lot on our show.
Yeah, we protect ourselves the best we can.
Oh, and also, this lady that Right Answers Mostly is here to tell us about today, you know what? I think if she sued everybody that made fun of her, called her names, told her story in a way that she didn't want, I think she's got bigger fish to fry than the history podcast community.
She's so rich. She probably doesn't give a shit about us.
Yeah, and I also feel like it's in her spirit to be like, whatever. You know?
I mean, you almost sounded just like her.
I always thought that was pretty good too. I'm impressed.
Yeah, that was good, Claire. Yeah, she likes people talking about her no matter what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So in case somebody just pressed play without looking at the title of the episode, who are y'all here to tell us about today?
Today we are going to be talking about the queen herself, we could say, and that would be Martha Stewart. That would be the one, the only, really.
The one, the only.
Scandal all is awaiting us.
True. I actually feel like Martha Stewart could be a one-namer. If you're like, we're going to talk about Martha, everyone would.
Yeah, that's so true. It's clean. Keep it simple.
Who else? Martha Washington? No. Yeah.
Wow.
I can't think that I would confuse her with any other Martha. So I did watch that documentary last year, but it's been a minute and I really don't know that much about her. Nathan, do you know much about her personal life or anything?
I don't. I know a little bit about how she got started and where her career began, but I really don't know some of that middle part.
Well, the middle part is quite juicy, I have to say. Her life really takes a turn.
Yeah, you could say that, Tess.
Before we get started, I had a fun little question that I thought I could ask the group. Because usually on Right Answers Mostly, I know you guys do the same thing of what do we know about this person? What do we associate them with? And I thought it'd be fun to say if we were having Martha over for dinner collectively, what would we make as an appetizer, a main, and a dessert?
Oh, God, my butthole just clenched thinking about that. I was like, oh, my God, she's gonna judge me.
I would first have my house very professionally cleaned.
Of course.
I think I would be just so nervous of her like walking around, doing that thing where they're like checking for dust on the fire mantle or whatever.
It'd be scary. Yes.
I think that I would not even cook and I would have for appetizer, dinner, and dessert martinis. I'd be like, I'm never going to make you happy with my cooking.
Just a martini party.
Let's just get drunk on an empty stomach. Yeah, I think she'd appreciate it.
Vodka or gin?
Well, I would do gin because I'm a gin girl.
I feel like Martha's a vodka girly.
It does. She seems very vodka-y.
Okay, so we could just do martinis.
Yeah.
I would want to throw out, like, maybe perhaps doing a focaccia, like a rosemary focaccia.
She would love that. She would love that.
If it's done well.
Yes. Nathan, what do you think?
I'm thinking at least I feel like she would appreciate something classic, something very, old school. So I'm thinking like a bolognese, like a very Italian bolognese. So yeah, I'm thinking classic dishes, things that don't go out of style.
Great answer.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a great dinner party. We have a clean house, martinis, focaccia, and bolognese. Like, what more could you ask for?
No, maybe a chocolate ganache.
Oh, okay. I was going to say. We got to end it on a high note.
Yep.
Oh, I want to be invited to this dinner party, and I feel like I'm throwing it.
I mean, we could make this happen.
Martha, if you're listening.
Martha. And just have somebody come dressed as Martha Stewart. Yeah.
That's true. That'll be fine. Well, guys, that was a treat. I really appreciate you indulging me in that. So shall we get into the history of Martha?
We shall.
I'd like to start with a quote that I thought would be appropriate for today since we are on Queen's podcast. And that quote is this: "I think baking cookies is equal to Queen Victoria running an empire. There's no difference in how seriously you take the job, how seriously you approach your whole life."
Oh, I like that.
So, she's pretty much saying we're all doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm building an empire with cookies. Please don't belittle that. Don't dismiss me.
Yeah.
I mean, that does feel very Martha.
To compare herself to Queen Victoria.
Totally. She's so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to hear Queen Victoria's thoughts on that. But I do see what she's saying overall. She's like, I'm building my own empire, and yes, it might be by something that's more feminine, but should be taken seriously nonetheless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Queen supporting queens. We're all, we're all doing the same thing.
Exactly.
So, Martha was actually born Martha Castroia on August 3rd, 1941 in New Jersey. That Leo queen just celebrated a birthday.
Leos.
Big Leo energy.
Wait, how old is she now again?
I believe she just turned 80. Oh, God. 84, 85?
She's in her 80s. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy work.
Like, she's literally never looked better in her 80s.
I agree.
I know.
And may we all...
A fortune will buy that for you. Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
That is for sure.
If I was just off the top of my head assigning her a sign, I would have said Capricorn.
Yeah, there's certain Leo qualities to her, but she is so rigorous and work-oriented and kind of serious in a lot of ways that you might not associate a Leo with. So
I'd love to see her whole chart. I wonder if it's available.
Same.
Continue.
I would too. So she's the second of 6 children, you guys. 6 children, a working class family. Her dad was a pharmacist and her mom was a teacher. I always assumed she grew up with a huge trust fund in a mansion, but that just wasn't the case because with 6 kids, how can you? Good God.
No, you
Kidding.
can't. Mm-mm.
No.
You just can't. And her grandparents were really the ones that taught her the art of cooking, canning food, gardening. She was very, very close to them. I mean, crazy, a 6-year-old was yeah, I know how to can food. Just something that we don't experience today.
Such a lost art, canning food.
But maybe we should.
Real quick, her big 3 are Leo,
yes.
Scorpio rising, and Sagittarius moon. That is...
Okay, so she has a lot of fire.
Interesting.
I am also a Scorpio rising, so I feel very connected to her in
I
that
call
way.
Scorpios the fire signs of the water sign.
They are.
For
So
sure.
she is one headstrong chart here.
She has more Scorpio energy to me in general.
Mhm.
Same. Scorpio really checks out for her. But that would make sense because it's her risings. That's how we perceive her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's right.
Sorry,
No, this is very important to know.
important research.
So she really struggled kind of even from an early child with perfectionism. Her dad really instilled this in her. He was very strict. He was hard on her, but he was like, you know what? You need to be self-sufficient. Look at our life now. We have 6 kids running around and you need to get rich, essentially. Help me out here.
I need a cash cow now.
There's always one kid, right? They're just like you. I see you and I'm relying on you.
Was she the oldest girl? Do you know?
I believe that she was the oldest girl, actually.
Yeah, that checks out.
And she kind of has that energy. So at 15, she notices that her neighbor has started modeling. And she was like, oh, Pops, you're telling me about this trying to be lucrative. I think I could probably make some money modeling. And he was like, you're right. Everyone's always talking about how beautiful you are. So, and she was like, then let's do it. So she signs with Ford Models because,
like you do.
easy, piece of cake.
Yeah. What, like it's hard?
Like you do. And she's immediately getting TV, commercials. She says that she's playing married parts. She's playing the wife of someone in a commercial by the age of 16, which is...
Gross.
I'm not surprising.
Or maybe she just looked older. This would have been the 50s and 60s. People got married when they were 18. So maybe she looked a couple years older.
She does have like a maturity to her, like in the doc. I don't know if you guys remember like all the old photos of her, even as a teenager. Like she seems like she's always been 45 years old. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And she has seen some shit, but even from like 16, she's a gorgeous. Oh my god, she's a gorgeous.
Oh my god, so
teenager.
I
gorgeous.
recommend everyone going to look at her modeling photos.
Oh my god. I mean, it's like shocking. And so then she's off to college, and modeling actually pays for her to go to college. She goes to Barnard, and she was going to study chemistry. That is what she wanted to study, you guys.
Interesting.
Yeah, or interesting.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Nathan and Katie, do you guys have chemistry trauma like Claire and I have? Like, was that a subject for you that was hard?
Yes. I had this teacher, Katie, I don't know if you remember him. It was Mr. Lofton.
We weren't in a lot of the same classes, Nathan. Nathan did good at school.
Nathan, look at you.
Yes. So I had this teacher, and God love him. He's a really smart guy. But he had these weird tics, and I think he had some sort of like, he was neurodivergent in some way. But he would go behind you and he would hiss like and he would just do that all day long. And so whenever you were taking a quiz and you got a question wrong, he would just sit behind you and go
Jail.
yeah,
I mean,
trauma. Because then sometimes he would do it even though you were putting the right answer down just to with your head. Like I was trauma. I have some chemistry
Yeah, well,
trauma.
as if chemistry wasn't terrifying enough. My God, now you're going to add hissing to the mix? Please.
Yeah, well, Martha liked chemistry. Who knows why?
Well, that kind of makes sense with her baking. Baking is chemistry.
Wow, that's true. Like that show Lessons in Chemistry. Did you guys watch on Apple?
I loved that show.
Same. So underrated.
It made me ugly cry. The episode where the dog is the narrator, shut the fuck
Bawled
up.
my eyes out. Like took the next day off after that, essentially. That was really hard.
Yes.
But then she ends up studying architecture and history.
Of course. God, history, y'all say that because history people I feel like are witches, no?
Oh, yeah. Almost definitely.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah. I feel like
Oh,
we
yeah.
all are.
Yes, the
Yeah.
Venn
Yeah.
diagram. It's very, yes, we're there. So while she's in college, she meets a man. And that man is named Andrew Stewart, and he is a Yale law student. They go on this blind date in college, and they immediately fall in love when she is she's 18 years old, so this must have been her first year.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's just so crazy. Like, but
I
I mean,
know.
that was that whole generation, right? Like, they would get married straight out of high school, and it's
Spoiler alert, this could be a tough journey ahead. And it was for them. Her dad was actually the one who was like, you know what? I really don't want you to marry this guy. His reasons weren't appropriate. He didn't want her to marry him because he was Jewish. And one of her first memories of her father getting aggressive was him slapping her across the face saying, you cannot do this and I do not want you to follow through with this marriage.
Because he was Jewish.
Yeah.
oh my God, that is terrible. I mean, it's a
Yeah, it's
Yale.
like
he's a
Yale. That's hard to get
graduate,
into.
Law school.
Yeah.
Like most parents would be like,
Yes.
take her. Here's $5,000. Here's her dowry.
I have to assume, were they like maybe not Irish Catholic or were they
They were
Catholic?
Catholic.
Like with,
Polish.
okay, I feel like back then, and maybe
Mm.
still now in some parts of the world, because I know my dad was Catholic, and there were just certain things that I would never think of that because he was raised in the 60s, so Catholic, that I'd be like, oh, Dad, what century
Totally.
are you in?
Exactly.
And so it doesn't super surprise me that someone that from that generation, even back then, if you're Catholic, it was just so ingrained in your
Well, and
personality.
if you couldn't gather from that story alone, her father was so intense.
Yeah, very intense. And I
Yeah.
also think there maybe was a little bit of element of like you just got into school, maybe wait a little bit. I just think he was hard on her in every way. But they ended up getting married, and her mom made her wedding dress, and she actually looks back on this day with, fond memories, saying that it was the nicest day and it was really the beginning of my entire life.
Aw.
So, let's talk a little bit about their honeymoon because it was juicy as hell and very shocking from the get-go. So, on their honeymoon, they go to Europe for 5 months.
What?
Holy, I would love.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm about to go on my honeymoon for 10 days, and I'm like, is that a little bit too long?
Ooh, where y'all going?
We're going to Italy.
Ooh.
Very excited. But I like a trip. 2 weeks is when I start to lose myself, a little bit. I love like a 10 to 12 days, so I can't imagine going on a honeymoon for 5 months.
Well, I'm like, who's paying for it?
I think he was paying for it, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I feel like a lot of times when we talk about princesses and kings and queens and stuff like that, they would have those long honeymoons, but they were also kind of like diplomatic missions as well. it was also like a part of it was like, yeah, they're going to go tour Europe for 6 months, but they're going to the King of Poland's whatever. Yeah. It sounds like this was just
This was
You could
just
say that
all
again.
pleasure. This was just in many, many ways. But Martha said this was like an eye-opening time in her life because she had never seen anything like it. She had never been to Europe. She was seeing like this preparation of food that was so delicate and love of cuisine and travel and discovery. And she was just like blown away and had a very like emotional and spiritual experience, especially when she was in Florence. So there's a night where she decides to go to church and she's like, Andrew, stay back. And in the documentary, she's like, he really didn't want to go. But then I saw other accounts that she was like, no, I want you to stay and I want to go to explore on my own. So she goes to the Duomo in Florence and she is just moved and she's looking up and she's like listening to music. And she's like, I started having this very emotional reaction to the whole thing. And then there was this guy next to me who was also having an emotional reaction. And we essentially just turned to each other and we were like, let's kiss.
on her honeymoon.
That's right.
Who amongst us has had a similar experience in a church, Like, you just never know.
Me?
Yeah, no. Never.
Yeah. And she just said, you know what? I thought, why not kiss a stranger on her honeymoon?
Yeah.
Because you're on your honeymoon, Martha, that's why.
Well, she also goes on, guys, to say that this was not infidelity. It was not cheating. It was an experience that she wishes that everyone could have at least once in their life. So she really wants everyone to make out with someone that's not your partner,
Well, on your honeymoon.
On their honeymoon.
So, hey,
Yeah,
Tess?
don't think I'll be replicating
No,
this
Tess.
journey.
This is why I'm like, maybe it's a good idea that we date around. When we're 18, let's try some
Yes.
things out. Let's kiss a few people.
Yes.
Yeah, like
I kissed 0 strangers on my honeymoon. I also went to 0 churches on my
Well,
honeymoon.
That's what's also so funny is she's like, I'm going to go to church here and stay back. I'm like, what?
I'd be like, I'm fine staying at the hotel
Yeah.
bar if that's what you want me to do.
I'm volunteering.
Give me a martini and I'll be set. But yeah, just, she did say, and she looks back on this time being like, you know what? I was 19 years old. Not like it excuses it, but it gives a little bit more reason to like why she was just like, oh, I saw a hot guy that was like, should we see God together? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's fucking go. So needless to say, their marriage was never great.
Yeah. Well, surprise.
Surprise. Yeah, she thought that he was kind of dumb. Like, I feel like she almost looked down to him a little bit. And we'll get into what happens later with them where but I think there was a lack of respect almost both ways. But she immediately gets pregnant with their child Alexis right away. She said, quote, everyone was doing it. I thought it was the natural thing. Turns out it's not at all natural to be a mother.
Lucky Alexa. I mean, is it Alexa or Alexis?
Alexis. And that made me sad to hear because it's like women, especially during this time, I think just thought that's exactly what you have to do. There's no other options. And she said that she was really only happy with Alexis when she was napping.
Oh my God.
It's like a dark, it just is like, it's upsetting to Alexis, it's upsetting to Martha that that's now how she has to experience her life. Her friends described her as very chilly as a mother. Alexis releases a 2011 memoir called Neverland, Learning to Live Here, in which she says that her childhood was not domestic or warm. Quote, I grew up with a glue gun pointed at my head. My attitude was much different than my mother's. She had a very hands-off approach to childbearing.
Holy shit.
A glue gun pointed at her head.
There's just some people don't want or need to have children, but unfortunately in those older generations, like you said, they were taught this is what you're supposed to do,
Yes.
and it's like, you don't have to.
And if you don't want this, what's wrong with you is what they were taught.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, nothing's wrong with you. You just don't want children, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
shouldn't.
I'm glad that we're living in a time where
And
there's a lot
please
more
don't.
conversation of like, oh, by the way, you don't have to do this if you don't want
want
to.
to.
Like, and you don't have to. And please don't. Like, if you do not want to, don't have
Don't
kids.
do it.
But this is what I think is so interesting with Martha is because there's so much duality, as we like to say on Ram, because like you see her and she is all like domestic and home. And so you would expect her to have this warm feeling to her. And there's nothing warm about this woman, which is why I think she's iconic. But
Absolutely no
Yeah.
warmth there.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like she's the domestic goddess, but in actuality, she just knows how to make it look pretty. But does she know how to bring the feeling of that? I don't know.
maybe to adults, but definitely not
Yeah.
to kids. And it's interesting because it doesn't have to be one or the other.
Exactly.
That's a great point. And to piggyback off of that, Alexa said that her mother hated Halloween and that they were not allowed to decorate the house. She said, quote, there were no costumes on Halloween, no anything. We turned off all the lights and we pretended that we weren't home.
What a bummer.
That's so sad.
Halloween is the best.
Well, I think like she's the queen of throwing parties.
You would think she'd be like, "Oh, let me get you the most elaborate costume. Let me get yeah."
Yeah, and let me throw a themed party. That seems like right up her alley. So that's very surprising.
Martha's literally like, no children allowed. Like, she likes an adults-only party. You know, she's like, if it's Halloween, but kids are going to be running around, it's going to be annoying. Like, I'm going to have to talk to them.
Totally.
She likes a 21 and up party.
Well, who could blame her for that?
Yeah, she probably wants the vodka stinger. She probably doesn't believe in drinking around kids. So
I know, I'd be
But
curious.
imagine being Alexis and seeing your mom doing like a Halloween photo shoot, because I'm sure she had a photo spread for her magazine or something, and then being like, all right, enough with this shit.
Oh.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is so unfair. Yeah, so it was a tough childhood for her, but Martha decides that she wants to go into Wall Street, and she becomes a stockbroker, making six figures in the 80s, which is really cool that she was like, you know what? I'm going to go hang out with the boys on Wall Street.
Because that was definitely a boys' club. I mean, it's still a boys' club. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
God.
about to say, I don't think there's very many women. I'm sure there were, but not very many at all in the stock
I'm sure there was
industry.
hardly any.
No, but if any woman has the personality for Wall Street, it's Martha Stewart. I'm also
Right.
just like, how did you, like, where did this come from?
Right. She didn't study it at school, right? She didn't do finance.
No, she didn't do finance. Maybe she took a class. I think she kind of wanted to get out of the house. She wanted to, I think she's always struggled too with like her own, what does it mean to be feminine versus masculine, and like different roles and what that means. So I can imagine that she kind of was like, let's go fuck some shit up, you know?
I love that.
Which like we support. So she works there for a few years. Then it's like, I made some money. My time is done. I'm sure it wasn't like the easiest experience for her just being a woman in that environment. So then they moved to Connecticut because she wants to restore this 1805 farmhouse.
Oh, of course.
And wouldn't she?
Of course
Wouldn't
she
she?
does.
Yeah.
And this is where she becomes very into decorating and cooking. She is studying the art of French cooking from Julia Child. I always say Julia Stiles whenever I say Julia Child. I'm like, Julia Child.
She's just doing the routine and making French food. I know it's hard.
Dualité.
Yeah, dualité.
And she was like, you know what? I like doing this for fun. I'm very like proud of this house, but also, what if we start having some dinner parties? And what if we go into business and I start doing catering? So she starts this catering company called An Uncatered Affair, in which she's catering to all of her husband's boring work colleagues constantly. And everyone is like, this is really lovely, because her whole thing is elegance and sophistication with intimacy.
Ah,
Which, you know, cute.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And I mean, if your audience is a bunch of rich white dudes, I mean, obviously you can bankroll the hell out of your business,
Exactly.
right? So
What did her husband do?
He was a lawyer,
Okay.
and then he takes a little bit of a turn, which we'll talk about in a second, goes into publishing.
God, they just are doing every career path possible.
I know.
Inspiring, really. Just like, let's try it out.
Whatever.
And sorry, Claire, what were you about to say?
Oh, it's really not important. It's just with the catering, I'm just thinking about mini quiches now. And that was going to be my contribution.
That is very important, Claire.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That isn't.
We should.
Yes.
We could have added that to our appetizer for Martha. She is like a mini quiche person,
Isn't
I
she?
feel.
Yeah.
No, that's good. So this is where it's like kind of an interesting conversation. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. She goes into business with this woman, Norma Colleen, and Norma is one of her first employees who is like, you know what? This woman was terrifying. She was verbally abusive. She was overly demanding. She was manipulative. So the business folded and they didn't work together anymore. And you will constantly hear about this persona, right? And people speaking about Martha as cold and not easy to work with. And I do believe that to some extent. Like, you can be disrespectful as a boss, and you know, she's a hard woman, I think, to get along with. Do you guys think the same thing would be said about a man?
Oh no, I don't. I think we've seen many instances in history where women who have opinions get put in a certain box, and that box is, oh, she's mean, she's a bitch, she's a witch.
But he's
she's
just
all the
assertive.
negative
He's
things in the world.
just, yeah.
Yeah, he's a great leader. He's amazing. He just gets shit done. And it's like, well, bitches get shit done too.
Bitches do get shit done.
There's nothing wrong with that, especially in that time area. They were probably thinking, oh, she needs to be very demure, very mindful, very sweet. And it's like, no, she owns a business. And if she doesn't like something, she can come up to you and say, hey, I don't like it. Cut it out. And if a dude did that, we'd respect it. But if a woman does, oh, she's mean, she's a bitch.
That is a perfect way to put it. I completely agree. I think that even watching her documentary, you're sometimes a little shook of like how cold she is. And I can imagine that, transferring to her work ethic. But you will always hear people saying she's impossible to work with. And I do think we keep what Nathan said with a grain of salt throughout the story. But Martha, she's like, my business folded. What else is next? So she's like, let's start a gourmet food store called Market Basket.
Cute.
Our grocery store in our hometown is called Market Basket.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Martha, are you there?
Maybe we can have that dinner party.
Maybe she visited Groves, Texas and said, Market Basket.
Inspiration is everywhere. Yeah. And so this is when Andrew actually goes into publishing. There's this book that he was fascinated with called The Secret Book of Gnomes. And he was like, I need to make it my life's work to publish the English language version of this book. And I'm going to have everyone in publishing come to our house and we're going to have this party. And Martha was like, ooh, she was like, rich people are coming and we got some publishing people. And this is when I'm going to shine again. Let me cater this event. And everyone there, the publishers were like, who cares about gnomes? This is incredible. Like, you are really something special. And someone comes up to her and they're like, you should write a book about like how you put on these events. And she was like, oh, should I actually go into publishing? And so our girl Martha publishes her first book in 1982 called Entertaining.
Just entertaining.
I love it.
Simple. I can also see Andrew from the side just being like, God, because like he's holding this publishing party and they're like, forget you.
Fuck them gnomes. Let me get in on this quiche or whatever.
Fuck them gnomes. And we've been saying that. But that's an interesting transition, Claire, because what do you guys suspect that with her rise to success, how do you feel like Andrew is handling it all?
Well, historically,
not well.
You know what? I was gonna make a joke.
Not well,
but yeah,
bitch.
not well. Historically, probably not great.
There's not much you can say other than, not great. They get divorced in 1987. There had been rumors of infidelity.
No. Shocking.
Okay, there had been rumors the whole time. Yeah, color me shocked. And he starts dating her former kitchen assistant, which is really shitty because it's just like, separate it, you guys. Like, you men.
There's boundaries,
Yeah, there's boundaries. She has a quote about marriage in which she says, if you want to be happy for a year, take a spouse. If you want to be happy for a decade, get a dog. And if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, make a garden.
Notice how she doesn't say anything about children.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know her. This bitch, I don't know.
No, what's so fucked up?
Like who?
Yeah, and she does say that Andrew, in her documentary, it took her a really long time to like speak about this so openly that she was like, he had a very dark side to him. There was a lot of toxic parts about him, that he had a scary side. And she was like, there was a lot of rumors that I was the one that wanted the divorce. She's like, I would have really tried to work for it. She's like, I was in love with him. She gave these letters to the producers in her documentary from the time in which she was begging Andrew to stay with her that reads, Dearest Andy, I cannot sleep, I cannot eat. My skin is worried and many lines that were not there are now there on my face. I am agonizingly jealous of your other women. I can't bear that you use what we did together on others. I'm in a fragile, breakable state right now. I feel physically ill because of this, as if my brain were about to break.
So that feels like he's like cheating on her.
I think he cheated on her the entire time.
Okay, because it's like you did things to other women that we only did. It's like, wait, what does that mean? I know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people knew it too, and he had a little bit of a reputation, and she really just tried to zone in on business. Mm-hmm.
That's just humiliating.
Yeah, that's so humiliating because you know people are whispering about you. You know what it's about, but nobody will say it to your face. Ugh,
exactly. And this was a hard time for her. But what do you guys think she's about to do? Because she's going through some emotional distress. She's like, let me
start a business.
Keep it going.
If this was the movie version, this would be the montage with some sisters are doing it for themselves playing, and she's like going through books. She's changing her hair. She's redecorating the place, throwing his stuff in the fireplace.
She's aggressively pulling weeds out in her garden, and she's like, that will show him.
Extreme close-up of her putting like red lipstick on. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we're all on the same page. Yeah. So she was like, you know what? I'm going to do a magazine.
Well, here we go.
The books were working out for her. She has a total, guys, of 97 books that she's published. Like, she has so many things that I didn't even know. And she started this kind of magazine influencer celebrity thing even before Oprah did. And she got 250,000 people subscribed before it even was launched. And after its first launch, she had 2 million subscribers.
Damn.
What year was this? Was this pre like mainstream internet?
This was in like the mid 90s.
That is really cool.
So imagine trying to promote it too. Like that is amazing.
Well, what's so cool about like her own magazine, it's like it's not only everything about her, it's also like her ads are in it. So it's like that's why we always say maybe one of the first official influencers, because it's like you go through this magazine and it's just her brands, her advice, her words, her products. Like
that is very cool
and very, very smart.
Genius.
Making that money.
That's right.
Making that money. So because of this, she gets a 10-year contract with this magazine. And Kmart. Oh, yes. Kmart calls. I was like, someone calls. It's Kmart. And well, Kmart, I was just watching Vintage Real Housewives of New York where they're giving Sonia Morgan a hard time about her dress line. And they're like, oh, what is it? And Kmart? And I was like, how dare you? Because Kmart is lucrative. And you wish.
You wish. It's mainstream.
Is Kmart still around?
I actually think it might have folded.
Did it?
I'm actually not sure at all. But at this time, Kmart was that girl.
At this time, it was a different time. So she's having some of her own products in Kmart. And she's like, okay, with all of this shit going on, I need a bigger company. I need to be the CEO, the chairman of a bigger branch. And so she starts Omni Media. And in 1999, the company goes public, and she owns 60% of those shares. So you can do the math.
Damn.
Yeah,
love
she's
it.
running shit too. Come on.
She
Yes.
is running shit. And this, you guys, makes her the first female self-made billionaire in the United States.
Wait, I don't think I knew that.
I know. I'd forgotten about this too.
Oh my
She is-
gosh.
Wow.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she's very rich, very successful.
Wow.
And, you know, she's investing. With some investments come maybe some bad decisions.
Unsavory business
don't
practices.
say.
I could say. And guys, this is where we get into a little something called insider trading.
Somebody, how do I say? I'm so dumb. I don't understand. I don't understand why this is illegal, but maybe I don't understand. Because isn't it like if somebody tells you this stock is bad, you go, well, let me sell that stock. Are you supposed to just go, well, I wasn't supposed to know that. Let me lose all my money. Like, I don't get it.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, who wouldn't do that? Because think about us as like podcasters, as friends. Like we would be like, hey, this trend is working really well right now. Or we did that, you know, that's
Right.
like what you do as business practices. The stakes aren't quite as high, but like, is it happening all the time? Probably.
Yeah, they're just hush hush about it.
Yeah, it took me a really long time to understand what it is. But yeah, it's basically just like I have this insider knowledge. Let me sell a bunch of these so I don't really have to, so I can either make a profit or I don't have to deal with the losses. Like you're being sneaky.
You're being sneaky.
You're being sneaky. You're being a little bit naughty. So Martha landed in some hot water after selling. So she has her stakes in Imclom Systems, which is a biopharmaceutical company. And investors questioned her on the trade in early 2002, and she and her stockbroker, Peter Bakanovic, maintained that they had no insider info that prompted the sale. However, federal prosecutors later accused Martha, and they were like, you were once a stockbroker yourself, like, please don't play dumb.
You know the rules.
She was like me. She was like, what is a stock? What is that?
Yeah, she's like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I just cook and clean and make a home.
Wait, so she was like had stocks in this company and then sold it before it started like plummeting, or?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly that, with the help of little Peter. So, and she lied about it to the Fed. So, you know, not great. They said that they had no public knowledge when they made the trade, but they did. So in June 2003, Martha faced both criminal and civic charges related to her sale of nearly 4,000 Imclom shares. That same day, a federal judge indicted Martha on 9 counts of security frauds, making false statements, and obstruction of justice.
But wasn't the amount something like $50,000 or something like that?
Good memory.
Was it actually 50,000?
Claire, she only made a profit from whatever happened of $51,000.
Oh my God, I was so close. I'm going to Vegas right now.
Which to her I mean, to us, $51,000, but like to her.
But to the feds, that's not even a drop in the bucket with the type of money that they're dealing
She's a
with.
billionaire.
So
She's
ridiculous.
a billionaire.
Yeah, and like when I was researching this, and Lord knows, like it all looked like a different language to me. I was like, "What is this?" They basically were like, "It's not that much money, but it's how you did it. It's how you did it," and it was lying to the feds.
Nay, I will contradict that. It's not about the money. It's about this is a public figure that we need to make an example of, and I think that's exactly what it was. I think if it was someone else, it probably wouldn't have even been brought to like this crazy big trial. And I think that they were like, we can't humiliate her and make a public example of her. And I think that's what they did.
That's a great point. Well, there was a lot of repercussions. There was a 6-week trial in early 2004, and she was found guilty. She had to pay $200,000 in fines and penalties. She was barred from serving as director or chief executive officer of any public company for 5 years, sentenced to 5 months in prison, in addition to 5 months of home confinement and 2 years of supervised probation.
That's a lot.
It's a little excessive, and I feel like I feel like there's other people doing it that they could have looked into.
On a much larger scale.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So she leaves the courthouse and she says, quote, "I'll be back. I will be back. I'm used to all kinds of hard work, as you know, and I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid whatsoever." Spoiler alert, she was very afraid in prison. Yeah.
I mean, I would be too. My God.
I'm not afraid until she sees the prison toilet. And she was like, I have several concerns.
Yeah. Though it was like a kind of like a lower security prison, it was called Camp Cupcake was its nickname.
Oh, wow.
I remember that in the documentary.
Which, like, it's kind of funny.
Was it because of Martha that they called it Camp Cupcake, or is it because it's like a nicer prison?
It was already called Camp Cupcake.
Okay, so it's like a nicer...
Yeah, a little bit nicer. It was in West Virginia. She gets there October 2004, and she said her time was anything but cupcakes and roses. She was like, you know what? It was really horrifying. It opened my eyes to incarceration. She said, quote, "It was horrifying, and no one should have to go through that kind of experience except for murderers, maybe. And there are a few other categories, but no one should have to go through that," she told Katie Couric about prison. It's a very, very awful thing.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the point. They don't want to let you go back. It's not like, woohoo, I'm going to Camp Cupcake. No.
Yeah, she wasn't.
So what has she done for
Wasn't
prison
happy, though.
reform since?
Great question.
Okay.
She has spoken, but hasn't she spoken about it?
She's definitely spoken about it, especially when she got released. She was talking about it. She was saying that we need to, basically what she just said, of like, most people shouldn't have to go through this unless you're murdering people, and there should be different facilities, and women should, especially be treated better. She said that she touched an officer once and didn't get food or water for an entire day. She was like, it was like a terrifying experience.
It does seem to me that she has just spoken about it and hasn't put her words into action upon further research, which ain't that how it goes?
Well, I think she was more talking about herself, she's a very privileged white woman.
At her
so
white-collar Camp Cupcake prison.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's like, this sucked for me, and I was really scared. And yeah, it was scary for other people, but it was really scary for me. Like, it's
Yeah.
Hasn't done much since. But she gets out of prison in March of 2005. And you know what? She's like, I'm thriving. She's like, I'm ready to go. I have been brainstorming while I've been in prison. I've had all these ideas. So she kind of has this comeback. And I feel like this was the time, I don't know if you guys remember this, where it was kind of like, oh my God, she's iconic. Like, she was just in prison and now she's like thriving. She kind of became like a pop culture girly.
She's like the bad girl now, and the bad homemaker, and everybody's like, oh, let's talk about Martha.
Yeah, like, isn't this so funny that like she is who she is and she was in prison? But she makes a comeback and she once again thrives in Kmart. She expands Kmart and she has tons of new ready-to-made home furnishings and this paint line that becomes available at Sears. So she's just making a shit ton of money once again. And she's like, you know what? It's time for me to go into television. It is time for me to perhaps venture into daytime television with the Martha Stewart show. And also, do you guys remember what she did?
Yes. I think I know what you're talking about. She wore her home ankle monitor on TV.
She absolutely did do that. And everyone was like screaming.
Like, look at it. Best new accessory.
All these women are just like losing their minds. Yeah, she did that. But also in September September 2005, she starts The Apprentice, Martha Stewart.
I don't remember that. She had her own, like, brand. Like, she was the host of The Apprentice.
Yes, but it was very short-lived and ratings weren't that good.
No.
So, like, we don't want to see a woman running shit. All right, take it off the air.
We're not ready for this. But her talk show, The Martha Stewart Show, was very, like, well-received. She received 6 nominations at the 33rd Daytime Emmy Awards, including Best Show and Best Host. So people are kind of like, okay, Martha, like, we're feeling you again after all this time. And she's going on all of these shows like Ugly Betty and having these cameos in, like, Law and Order.
Oh, my God. Wow, she should be familiar.
I loved Ugly Betty, but I can't remember her on there. But it was so long ago, and I've never rewatched it.
I never watched Ugly Betty, actually. That was, like, one thing I know. It's such, like, a cultural moment, I feel.
My mom loved that show.
And she always wore that Anne Boleyn necklace with the bee and the hanging.
Oh, wow.
It all goes back to history. So then she was like, okay, we're doing pretty well. I would like to now venture into wines, which will bring us to a little bit of a collaboration she has with such an unexpected other celebrity. Do you guys know who?
Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Dog. Sorry.
I was going to ask, when does Snoop
Yes.
enter the chat? Yeah.
Snoop is here. Snoop has been on the sidelines, and we will talk about him. So she's, like I was saying, she's kind of like in pop culture. She was like doing roasts of Justin Bieber. Like, I think there was a lot of different people that were like, wait, Martha, like this could be kind of iconic. And Lord knows how she and Snoop really came together. But they did in the fall of 2016. VH1 premiered a new show featuring Martha and Snoop called Martha and Snoop's Potluck Dinner Party, featuring games, recipes, and musical guests.
That actually sounds like it would be a lot of fun.
That really does. That is such smart marketing, I think, because they both have... Snoop Dogg has a criminal record. I know he was on trial for murder, but was never convicted.
Oh, was he?
I know in the 90s he wasn't convicted, but he was on trial for murder, and I guess... like
We haven't done a Snoop Dogg episode yet.
Yeah.
What
So it just seems like, because they seem so opposing, but when you look at the facts, it's like, well, they've both had issues with the law.
Yeah, that can bond you.
Well, and that's what we call dualite in people.
Dualite.
Again, to bring it back. Dualite.
Dualite. But what I love about this friendship, it's not like just for show. They are genuinely like family. They speak so highly of each other. They really adore each other. They like found this partnership, and like they both had so much fun doing the show, so much so that they were like, you know what, we should come out with a product together, and I think we should do some wine. And so they come out with this wine called 19 Crimes. And have you guys tried it?
Yes.
I drank 19 Crimes this weekend. I know Snoop Dogg is on some of the bottles. I didn't know that was like a Martha Stewart collab.
It is.
Martha has a Chardonnay.
And
See, I don't drink white wine. And I never get the one with Snoop on the bottle. I like the one, that one's not my favorite one. There's another one with just like a random old picture of a criminal on it.
Katie doesn't drink white wine because it makes her cry.
It makes me, every time I drink white wine, you know what? I am getting better with, I can maybe do like a Pinot Grigio now. I think I think it's really Chardonnay. That's the
Ramona Pinot, perhaps.
That makes me just be like, y'all remember how that dog died one time 10 years ago? And then I just start crying, and no one wants
But not red wine.
Not red wine.
Interesting.
Well, I will say Chardonnay, you're better off without it. I really don't enjoy Chardonnay. However, Tess and I split a bottle of this Martha Chardonnay, and it's actually really nice.
When we were recording our Martha episode a couple years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's not too oaky, which
Don't
is nice.
believe you.
Believe us, I hate a Chardonnay. And I was actually like, whoa.
Same.
They did it. They did it.
We love a Pinot Grigio, Sauv Blanc, Sancerre. Like, that's where we live. But this Martha Chardonnay, I mean, of course, she had it figured out.
But I do like 19 Crimes. I do like that brand, and I didn't realize I knew Snoop was on it because he's on some of the reds, so I've seen those before.
they started collaborating together, and I just love their friendship. And so sometimes on RAM we like to throw a little game in there, and I thought this could be a fun little game as we approach the end of the episode of Who Said It, Snoop or Martha?
Yes.
Okay, first one. Just to clarify, I'm not high right now, but whoever gave us this show, they must have been.
I mean, that's got to be Snoop, right?
I feel like it's got to be Martha because it just feels so not Martha.
I think it's Martha just the way you said it. I feel like you just embodied her a little bit.
It's Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Katie wins.
But I'm trying to throw you guys off.
Oh, you
because
That's what it was.
that was going to be my secret. Now I told it, so we'll see how the rest of them goes. Okay, quote number 2. Isn't that a stupid knife?
Isn't that a stupid knife? I think that's going to be Martha, because maybe she's like carving a turkey or something, and she sounds very judgmental as well. So
Yeah.
You are correct, Katie. That is Martha carving something. You're saying, isn't this a stupid knife?
Isn't this a stupid knife? And some like poor like prop guy is like, oh,
Sorry.
Literally.
I invented it's a good thing before you were even born.
oh, well then that's got to be Martha. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what she says.
She's
It's a good thing.
That was good, Katie.
Oh, that's good, Katie. Yes, it is. Yeah, that one was easy.
That was actually more of my impression of the person that played her on SNL than actually her. Was it on a gas tire or something?
I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And finally, I have nice legs, I have a good body, I have good skin. I might be a little fat here and there, but who cares? It looks good all together. The package is good.
I mean, it's Martha.
I would say Martha too. Okay.
It is Martha.
Wait, do you mind saying that line one more time? Because I would like to hang that in my house.
Yes, I will repeat it. I have nice legs. I have a good body. I have good skin. I might be a little fat here and there, but who cares? It looks good all together. The package is good.
Please, someone put that on their Hinge profile.
Truly. And just see what happens.
Just see what happens. Someone, one of the listeners, please.
And I thought I had one more Snoop one about Halloween, and now I can't find it. It must have magically disappeared. But
Martha hates Halloween, so she's hid it for you.
Yeah.
exactly. It was all actually for that, to circle back. Oh, that was fun. Okay, guys.
Fun.
So what is Martha up to now? Well, I just found out, I did not know, that she is launching Elm Biosciences, Martha's first skincare line that is going to debut September 17th, 2025. It is her inaugural venture into skincare. And I think that's really smart because whatever she's doing, it's working.
Yeah, and I think she did some cover photo for some magazine when she turned 80 or something, and she just looked stunning.
Yes. I'm like, was that a People?
She did Sports Illustrated.
Sports Illustrated,
too.
it was Sports
Yes.
Illustrated. And I feel like she's kind of, from then, she started to be like, well, I could maybe tap into the beauty industry. Like, that was something that I used to do. Like,
Totally.
So smart. Well, remember she posted that selfie maybe like a year or two ago, like in her pool, and people were like, oh my
gosh, it's like, gilf. Wow.
Like, literally.
I mean, she just looks gorgeous.
I do think it's important to note that she definitely does not have that body she looks beautiful, but I think we all need to. It's not just diet and exercise, though I'm sure she does both.
You guys, celebrities, do not ever think, why don't I look like that? Because they have access to
You're not
everything
ugly, you're just
in the world.
You're not even poor.
Poor.
You're just not that level.
Yes, I believe that she has had a facelift here and there,
Yeah, if you expect to get her results from her skincare line, you're kidding yourself. But a very smart business move on her part.
Yeah, guys, we have to be
If
careful.
you have the money and you have the resources and you want to do that, I'm not hating on that. I just also like to be like transparent with these things with listeners, to be like, you're not going to use her skincare line and be like, look at me at 80 on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Oh my gosh. I think it's so important, especially right now where it's just a lot of, what we're seeing right now, like in Hollywood and with different trends. And it's important to know that these people are really rich and they do a lot of injectables to make themselves look like this.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I might be making an appointment, in the next 10 years.
Nothing
wrong with
If
that.
you
Nothing wrong
want
with
to,
it.
there's nothing wrong with that, just so long as we're all aware that it's not nature.
Yes. And also, you guys, just remember at the end of the day, beauty and body should not be trends, and just live your life and, enjoy yourselves.
Bingo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not really interesting at all. We're not doing these topics and talking for the majority of the episodes about how someone looked or their bodies or their abs or their skin. We're talking about what they accomplished and how they treated people.
How versatile she was and how she was a horrible mother.
Yes. And all of these things can be true. In April 2025, she debuted Yes Chef, a cooking competition series. I didn't actually know
Me
that.
either.
Did you guys watch
I
that?
missed that.
She's always doing something. And I think maybe I did the right math at the beginning of the episode. She just celebrated her 84th birthday a couple weeks ago. And as of mid-2025, do you guys want to guess how much her net worth is estimated at?
I probably just couldn't even imagine.
She's got to still be a billionaire, right? Because she was before, but then again, she did have all that shit fall out.
Yeah, she was in the 90s, and you know, times change. She's still estimated at 400 million, which is
Okay.
really
I mean, that's still
good.
Yeah.
just slightly more than I have.
Not more, yeah, just slightly. But we'll get there. I'm shocked though that it's not even like 900 million.
I think these estimates can be all over the place, but I think we're always like, wait, why aren't they even more than what we thought? And these people have a lot of people working for them. They own multiple homes. Some of them can be silly with money, allegedly. You can blow a lot of it when you first get it. So I think,
or maybe she's just fucking lying
Yep.
because she's got a track record.
Yeah.
that's true. That is true.
She doesn't want her fucking kid coming and asking her for money.
Yeah.
So she's like,
She's like, no touch, Alexis. And you guys, that is our queen, Martha Stewart.
Wow.
Oh, that was so
this
much
was
fun.
a lot of
Oh, good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed. But yeah, guys, what a fun little, you know, and like we were saying, both things can be true. She can maybe be difficult in some ways, but I think it's always nice to express that we think that this is unfair to a lot of women, that we get pinned down as being hard to work with or cold. And like, she's okay. She's done really well for herself.
You know what? Both, like you said, both things can be true. She can be maybe not the warmest mother, maybe not somebody that I'd be like, let's talk about our problems with her. But also, no one's looking at, like, I don't know, who's a contemporary of hers, who's like a published, like,
Well, Anthony Bourdain. Like, if Anthony Bourdain, or even I would counter that, not Anthony, or what's the guy who's always yelling? Because Anthony Bourdain, I think, was really beloved.
That I saw recently.
Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay. People are like, wow, he's like yelling and like he's intense, but people aren't like, he's a fucked up person. You know what I mean?
And also,
Yeah.
I just saw him at a restaurant a couple months ago, and like we were all talking about him because I was like, isn't he like really mean? And like people at my table were like, well, that's like an act he puts on. You know, it's like, I feel like men can also get away with being like, he does that for the camera. Like, this is also probably a big act for her.
Yeah.
Like, because we all have to protect ourselves when you're that, like, and when you're that famous. So it's like, it's fine.
and when you're working on so many projects, maybe you're just fucking tired at the end of the day and you don't have the capacity. I mean, her personality was also part of her brand because she was like this welcoming thing. But did she talk about motherhood? Did she talk about like girlfriends or anything? No, it was about, we're throwing this party. But because she's a woman, it's like, oh, well, she's talking about homekeeping. So we just connect that with these feminine traits that not everybody has to have. Not every woman has to have.
Perfectly said, Katie. Perfectly
it represents so much, actually.
Mm-hmm. So everyone listen, just think about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Just think about it. Because I had to check myself too sometimes and being like, oof. And then I was like, wait, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, don't make out with other people on your honeymoon is my.
Well,
Yeah, that's one thing we don't have
unless
to
that's something
replicate.
y'all have agreed on before.
Yes.
Yeah, it needs to be,
Mutually agreed. That something that is so Martha though, when the Netflix doc came out and it was like people were loving it, I think, and were so interested. Martha was like, I didn't like it. She said it, which is like so her for like this beautiful documentary to come out about her, and she's like, I don't like it.
She's like trash.
Yeah.
I know. I read that. I was like, she like instantly regretted it. She's like, nope, I hated it.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Truly.
And that's totally on brand for her.
Yeah.
She cracks me up.
She is funny. She doesn't try to be, but she is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do remember in the documentary that like she was dating, was it like the guy that created like Microsoft Word or something?
Oh, yeah, she did date that guy.
And they were dating for like a really long time. And while she was in prison, he just sent her like a Dear Jane letter or whatever and just broke up with her and married somebody else while she was in prison.
Oh,
and she thought he was going to come pick her up or whatever.
Devastating.
I know. I couldn't imagine. That was a really good, I think I want to go back and watch it because now I'm like trying to remember.
It's beautifully done, too.
Yeah, I very vividly remember the part about the church on her honeymoon. So she was just like, so what? I kissed somebody. What's the big deal?
It's not cheating. Whatever.
Well, this is such a cool story. And like I said, we don't get to talk about contemporaries, people that are still alive a lot on this show. So it's so fun. This is why I love our summer breaks too, because we get to invite other creators on to tell us stories so we can hear other perspectives, more modern. This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us on. We always have such a blast with you guys.
We really do. We really do.
True to form, it was a blast.
Yes,
Yet
it was.
again.
No surprises there.
Y'all need to come onto our show soon, for sure.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. Guys, let us know what you want to hear us talking about over on Right Answers Mostly. And if you don't subscribe to Right Answers Mostly, I'm going to go ahead and put a link to their show in the show notes. We're also going to have an Instagram post where you can link out to their Instagram, follow them on there. They're always posting really cool stuff. And also, if you haven't heard of Right Answers Mostly, you're welcome, because I feel like the Venn diagram of our listeners is kind of just a circle. So now you'll know.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I agree. We love our crossovers.
Yes, we do. This was so much fun. Thank you guys.
Awesome. Well, Nathan, our summer break is almost over. So you ready to get back to it pretty soon?
Oh, I can't wait. And I think our kickoff episode is going to be a banger.
Literally. They're going to have to take it. Take another little piece of... Oh, a hint. Okay, so cheers, bitches.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah, Film Vault.
We are one of the original film podcasts.
That can't be true.
There was like 2 other film podcasts when we began, Brian.
How long have we been doing the show?
You and I first sat down and did a version of the show over 20 years ago.
My God.
2 episodes each week. One,
we review movies, and the first episode, and the second one, different top 5 every week. Movies that made you cry. Worst movie accents. Most disturbing movies. All right, the Film Vault, check it out.
Wherever you find podcasts.
That's right, the Film Vault, going on 20 plus years.